Hello, you're all welcome to the Organizational Process Improvement, Volume 1. This is an online workshop, training workshop by Right Track Consulting. At Right Track will improve processes for organization. And the reason for this online workshop is for us to get to organizations, make sure that your organization processes is being improved and continuously improved. So, but this is just an overview and introduction to the course, organizational process improvement. And it's not just a training workshop, it's an actionable workshop that will open up the mind of every listener, every CEO, every owner of a company, every employee of a company. So you are all welcome. This is the first time we're doing this. We also have this. We also have these trainings on site and online. It helps us to get you working. Okay, so let's hit it. Okay, so what is your organization? Your organization runs on processes. Every organization runs on processes. And what we're actually going to do is to look at all those little bits of processes, all the X's that brings about the output. So if you are both for organizations who are running who are into manufacturing, service operation, each process has a lot of little integral things that makes it up to become a product, for you to come up with a product or a process or a service. So about Right Track, we'll partner with small and medium-sized businesses, even multinationals, to define achievable solutions and deliver tangible results. The agenda for today's class is we're looking at lean background and thinking. We're also looking at lean tools, 5X, what waste is, process mapping, Six Sigma tools. We're going to look at the demand phases. All these are just the introductory level, so that your organization will be able to understand what we're talking about. We're also going to talk a little bit about the root cause analysis, what it does for organization mistake proving. As a result of you must have been able to identify root causes of why your process is not working the right way. So you mistake proof in order to make sure you don't go back to the ladder again. So change management consideration, because process improvement is all about change management, and it involves people. When I say people, it involves the whole organization. So introduction, before diving into the step-by-step discussion, let's first clarify some terms. Look at the benefits of process improvement and think about the best way to get started. What is a process in the first place? A process is no more than the steps and decisions involved in the way work is accomplished. Everything we do in our lives involves processes, and lots of them. When you wake up in the morning for you to go to work, there's a process. That's a process before you get to work. You need to get down, you need to pray to God, you need to brush your teeth, you need to take a bath. And then before you get to work, let's say that your workplace, the resumption time is 8 o'clock. And we'll now notice that one guy, or you notice that you don't no matter how you try to get to the office early, you get there at 8:30 or 9:30 every day. What will you do? You need to improve your processes so that you'll be able to come to work as at window, or even come earlier before the time. So for one to get to improve his processes, for you to come to work as early as possible, it then means you are going to look at all the excess, all the things that goes into the process of going to work for you. X1, what is it? When you want to brush your teeth, how long does it take you? Does it take you up to 20 minutes or 30 minutes? When you want to make up, does it take 20 minutes? When do you actually wake up? I wake up at 6. And when you look at all these integral things, you now see that one item is taking all the time. So you need to improve it. So that's why we look at processes. Here are some examples: writing a work order, shooting a weapon, getting out of bed, repairing a valve, ordering a part, performing a test, preparing a message, and loading a missile, allocating a budget, conducting a drill, and the list goes on. Even going to work is a process. Making a tea for your wife or your husband is a process. There's a process that goes into it. So let's go on. Who owns processes? Everyone has a stake in one or more processes. Groups of individuals usually share in and own the activities which make up a process. But the one individual who is ultimately responsible and accountable for the proper working of the process is known as what? The process owner. The process owner is the immediate supervisor or leader who has control over the entire process from beginning to the end. Yes, every process has an owner. Let's say we want to improve on finance or admin as a unit or a department. Their processes. The process owner of that process will be the head of admin or the head of finance. And he will be the one to be able to convince the organizational head, the MD, or the board that they need to improve the processes that they have. A process owner may choose to be a team leader and participate directly in the actions of a process improvement team, or the process owner may decide to delegate the team leadership role to another person who is knowledgeable about the process. It must be somebody who is knowledgeable about the process that you can delegate that to, because you don't delegate. Let's say somebody is in accounts and you have a problem that you're solving in accounts. You bring somebody in IT to come and lead the process. You will miss out on so many things that goes into the process. So when you're able to do process improvement for that department, at the end of the day, you have a lot of loopholes. So a process owner or whoever that is going to act on as a process owner, as delegated by the supervisor, will be somebody who is conversant with the process. What is process improvement? Process improvement means making things better, not just fighting fires or managing crisis. It means setting aside the customary practices, the practice of blaming people for problems or failures. It is a way of looking at how we can do our work better. Yes, you see, when problems come in so many organizations, the traditional thing there is that so many of the supervisors, the supposedly leaders in organizations, if there's a problem, they blame somebody. Sometimes they even go as far as telling you to, once you want to complain that, let's get to the root of this thing, they will tell you, please, I want solutions, I don't want problem. And by so doing, a lot of ad hoc decisions will be taken, making the process to be more, to add more processes in an existing process. As we go along, I'm going to introduce you to mistake proving, and there you will see how we must mistake proof. We must go down to make sure that we'll get into to get to the root of problems so that you don't solve, you don't start addressing symptoms. So when we take a problem-solving approach or simply try to fix what's broken, we may never discover or understand the root cause of the difficulty. Take for instance, you have headache or you have one ailment or the other. You went to the doctor and your doctor kept on prescribing a painkiller instead of clacking you to get to the root of the cause to know what the problem is. Maybe something else, maybe stress or even an ailment is making you to have that headache. The first day you go, you come back, you continue. It means you need to change your doctor. If you don't do that, you are going to actually die out of the ailment. And so many of our organizations, we are just like that. Once there's a problem, we'll start treating the symptoms. I want results immediately. They don't go down looking at the process to know the thing that must have caused that problem, the root cause of the problem. And that is why you are here. However, when we engage in true process improvements, we seek to learn what causes things to happen in a process. By so doing, you are getting to the root cause. You are not treating symptoms. And to use this knowledge to reduce variation, remove activities that contribute no value to the product or service produced, and improve customer satisfaction. A team examines all the factors affecting the process, the materials used in the process, the methods and machines used to transform the materials into a product or service, and the people who perform the work. So everything is looked into. And for you to conduct a successful process improvement, that means everybody will be involved. It's not just the one, it's not only the top or only the people who are down the ladder that will conduct that. It's an organizational wide thing. So everybody will be involved so that at the end of the day, the process will be owned by all. I've seen so many organizations, public sector organizations, that they've done a lot of projects running in billions, millions of naira and dollars. And at the end of the day, you find out that the process improvement, maybe they wanted to improve a process in IT or how they would deliver something. You get to that organization after the process improvement and see that if it is a server that is supposed to help work out what they are doing, let's say it's a technological improvement to help them, you see after so many administrations must have come and gone, the server that they spend billions to do, you see by the corridor, corridor where they just dump it there. Why? Because there's no buy-in. The process improvement was not done carrying the real stakeholders, because stakeholders are those who this will affect, both employees, the owners of the organization, shareholders, and even community that is around there. So let's go on. So how does process improvement benefit the organization? A standardized process improvement method allows us to look at how we perform work. When all the major players are involved in process improvement, they can collectively focus on eliminating waste of money, people, materials, time, and opportunities. The ideal outcome is that jobs can be done cheaper, quicker, easier, and most importantly, safer. This brings me to the sometimes we've come to understand that so many organizations, employees don't really work up to 100% of the times that they come to work. They spend actually maybe 40, 30, 50% of their time doing, or 30% really doing the job proper. Other times will be spent on non-value added activities. It's not actually, most times it's not the problem of the employee, is actually a process problem. And that's why we say don't blame the employee. Don't blame the employee and blame the process whenever you have problems. But the reverse is the case. I know that so many organizations, the traditional thing is that you jump at who is at that particular workstation that you are having problems. Sometimes we also understand the problem of that person within that the spot where you're having problem might be as a result of bottleneck. And that bottleneck, a process is supposed to flow without any hindrance. There shouldn't be any rework, redo, or once there's a reversal, once two processes or three processes that is supposed to flow on its own without any hindrance is being stopped somehow, creating bottleneck where two or three processes will now merge to be one. Whoever that is sitting down there will always have a problem. Even if you bring the best person in the world to sit on that seat, he will have issues. So you blame the process. A teamwork approach is intrinsic to life in many industries. Using total quality tools and methods reinforces teamwork. Using team members' collective knowledge, experiences, and efforts is a powerful approach to improving processes. Through teamwork, the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. So everybody is important. How does an organization get started on process improvement? First, an essential first step is getting started on process improvement is for the senior leader to make it a command priority. It's going to come from the top to the down. If the top doesn't really integrate or accept the process improvement, it's not going to work. The importance of the process improvement must be communicated from the top. Leaders need to foster an organizational environment in which a process improvement mentality can thrive and people are using quality-related tools and techniques on a regular basis. You see, everybody, once the top leaders have made the decision that you want to go into process improvement, it will work, it will go down, touching everyone from top down. And that's what will always, it should be a culture. Process improvement is a culture. And that's why we say when you do process improvement, there's something we call, that's why we have Lean Six Sigma to introduce continuous process improvement. You keep on, when you improve on a process, let's say at the beginning of the process improvement, the organization is at 1 Sigma level. We are going to see all the Sigma levels and what it relates to process the improvement or quality of what we do. You move from 1 to 2 to 3 to 6 before you get to 6 Sigma. You can't just jump an organization from 1 Sigma level to 6 Sigma level. It's not like that. And it's going to be, it's done gradually. Kaizen events and other things will be done to bring you up to speed and make sure that it becomes a culture. For the organization to reach this state, leaders must ensure that everyone receives the training that will enable them to carry out their process improvement efforts effectively. Instilling a process improvement mentality in an organization can be difficult because it requires some different ways of thinking than we are accustomed to. Process improvement brings about questioning the status quo. It's no more the traditional way of doing things because I know that human beings are very, very good at staying put on what they already know. New things, changes is always a problem. So you question the status quo. There's a culture for somebody to question a process for it to be improved upon. Somebody can always ask, is there no other way that we can do this? Let it not be when they ask that, they will say, for the past 10 years, I've been in this company or this organization. We've always been doing things this way and don't question us. Just do what you're asked to do. That means you are calling that person a just do it person who is a zombie. And being a zombie doesn't really help in what we are doing. So process improvement requires everyone to become a firefighter preventer rather than a firefighter. The focus is on improving the process over the long term, not just patching up procedures and work routines as problems occur. I told you about the doctor and symptoms of headache. If you patch up things, that means you are just giving somebody a painkiller that at the end of the day, something bigger might happen to the person. So, so do we have in our processes. Our processes need to be worked upon. It needs to be improved on a regular basis. We need to ask questions on the status quo, and that is just that. What processes, what are the steps, action steps? What processes should we select for improvement? What resources are required for improvement efforts? Who are the right people to improve the selected processes? What's the best way to learn about the processes? How do we go about improving the process? How can we institutionalize the improved process? These are the action steps. So let's look at lean thinking. History of industry. Toyota post-war, the need, high quality the first time around. Work based on demand versus work for work's sake. You are not working for work's sake. We're looking at the pool. Dramatically lower costs. What's the solution here? Flow production. Make what is needed when it's needed. That's just in time. You need to just provide what is needed as at the quantity that is needed at a particular point in time. If you are doing this, it means you are actually trying to mitigate against one form of waste that we're actually going to look at in the future, down the line now, inventory. If you just do what you're supposed to, JIT, just in time, make things that is required as at when you will try to remove the waste of inventory. And the waste of inventory is actually a very big problem. Sometimes we'll keep things that is obsolete and we'll keep cleaning it, we'll get security for it and not rest. And these are things that we ought to have just taken off. Based on customer demand specification, highly flexible, highly capable, efficient processes. Consider what customer wants. You must always listen to the customer. There's something we call voice of the customer. And you need to know that you look at things from the perspective of the customer, not from your own perspective. Sometimes when we look at things from the customer's perspective, we'll see the problems that they go through. You must wear their shoe. I've been to one bank some time ago, and we were doing a process improvement for them. We asked them their turnaround time. What time how long does it take you to attend to a customer? They said the required time is 10 minutes on arrival to the bank. I said, what is on arrival to the bank? Because there's something we call professional definition. You need to be specific and let that definition be known. Now, from the banker's perspective, he said, on arrival to the bank is when the person walks into the banking hall and they now start counting. Meanwhile, the customer's experience, for him to judge you, he's counting from the time he gets into your premises, the time it takes him before he can get a place to your parking lot where he can park, how long their security procedures take outside the banking hall before he steps in. So most times we need to, if you are doing proper process improvement, we'll look at all this in totality. Challenges facing the industry. reduced funding. Right now, we're in Nigeria. We're facing a lot of reduced funding in even low patronage in different economies within the nation and so many other countries of the world. Demand for greater accountability. People need greater demand for accountability. The government of the day is saying that they need to get things done perfectly well. They are fighting corruption. That's so perceived as expensive and inefficient, processes failing to meet needs of those they serve, that's customers, employees, staff, and etc. Processes slow, lack documentation, standardization, and training. Processes cross many units areas, with each area working on their part of the process in silos, and no real owner responsible for ensuring process is optimal. When a customer needs to go through so many steps, so many people go through different departments before he gets his service or his product out, it takes a lot of time, and that needs to be improved upon. Climate of continuously improving does not exist. That's the culture that we're talking about. The competitive universe, the universe that we're in now, everybody, I want it on time. That's what everybody wants now. That's the demand. We're under pressure. And they say, I want it on time and in the proper hands. I want it done correctly, accurately, exactly, precisely, perfectly, and so on and so forth. And most importantly, they also want it cheap. These are the demands on you as an organization every day. If you think you can provide all these things listed here and more, others are doing it. You ask me why. You ask me how. Some people are already providing efficient, fast, effective, and even free service to you. If I ask you to tell me whether you know that, so many of you won't know. But the Google that you use is free and is efficient. As you just type in, everything just comes to you. So you should make sure that you get your service up to speed like this. We also have even so many other places, things. In the past, people want, if you want to join a cab, there are so many processes that goes into it before you can get a cab. Now, Uber is doing a lot for storage of data. You must have a good storage bank and all the rest of it. Now we have the cloud systems like Dropbox and so many other process improvement. What is lean? You must have heard a lot of things about lean. Isn't this stuff for people who make cars? No, it's not only for manufacturing. Lean is simple. Is a simple definition. Deliver the most value from your customer's perspective. You see, we are looking at the customer's perspective while consuming the fewest resources. The customer wants it to be easy. He doesn't want to receive anything that is a waste. He doesn't want to waste time in getting results from you. So lean focuses on waste removal. It focuses on the non-value added activities that goes into a process. Who is the customer? Customer is the king. We all know that. And why a lean office? Does it apply to my industry? Yes. So many people think that lean is just a manufacturing chain. Lean is meant for both service and manufacturing, all industry. Even at home, you can implement lean in your domestic affairs. So most organizational costs are administrative, work completed faster, more accurately. It helps to improve productivity and morale of your staff. What is lean thinking? The fundamental insight. Focus on each product, service, and each value stream, how it's created, Ask which activities are waste and which truly create value. Enhance the value and eliminate the waste to optimize the whole. How do we gauge success time? So you look at this, you try to create, look at all the value stream, what goes into processes. Once you are going through all that, you'll be able to identify all the X's that cost you to go to work late, as I told you earlier. Maybe S1 trying to make up for 30 minutes. You can always optimize that and make up for 30 minutes and make it 10 minutes. If it is spraying in the house, you can change the 30 minutes for spraying in the house and then double it while you're driving. So many people and so many other things. That's just a simple one. So where is the time in a typical process? Process before lean, you can see the non-value added on the right red parts, and then value added. Or reduce process time by 4 days. This work takes a lot of time before let's say is a lab test, and the lab test sometimes in the past they will tell you before you get your lab test for a particular type of airman, come in 4 days or in 10 days. And if you apply lean on that, you see that so many of the things that cause the delay can be removed. And that's what we've done here. That's why you have 10 days reduced to 4 days. And this can still be improved the more. So traditional improvement efforts focus on the value added time, the good process steps that create value. Focusing on non-value added has largest opportunity for improvement. Lean thinking in summary: specify value by product service, identify the value stream, make the product service flow at the pool of the customer. When we say at the pool of the customer demands before you produce, so that you don't run inventory in pursuit of perfection. Specify value by product from the standpoint of the customer, applies to services as well as goods. I said that before. Most customers just want a solution to their problem. Identify the value stream from the start of the process to the end. You must understand that. Eliminate steps that don't create value and cause waste. So you must always sprinkle your processes. Make the product service flow continuously. Avoid defects and bottlenecks like rework, redo, reverse, anything. Anywhere you see there's an inherent cost there, and it's cutting away a lot of costs from the organization. Waiting, errors, and the rest of them, they are not good, so we'll remove them. At the pool of the customer, delivering only what is needed when it's needed. In pursuit of perfection, perfection is the complete elimination of waste and non-value added activities, requires a continuous improvement mentality. So it's a culture. At the end of the day, the organization will be better for it. What are the lean principles? The customers always define value for the process. From the voice of the customer, you know the value that they need. Lean distinguishes steps that create value from those that do not. Lean reduces what? Waste and builds inequality. The people who do the work are the experts. So you must bring in the people who are, if you're improving in a particular unit, get to the people who understand the processes and who are working on that. They are the process. They are the people you are working for, and they are the experts to tell you where. And when you are doing your process mapping, they will be able to tell you what goes in for you to be able to improve upon. Learning to improve work is as important as producing the work output. Output, if you don't do it very well, it becomes, garbage in, garbage out. If you garbage in a lot of rubbish, Henry Ford said that he would not put in anything that is useless to the process, that doesn't add value to the output. So that's what the waste is all about. What is 5X? 5X is a 5-step improvement process to create and maintain a clean, neat, and high-performance workplace used to ready the workplace for future continuous improvement efforts. Such distinguish needed items from unneeded. eliminate unneeded ones. You can see that so many times as a result of what we've been doing for a long time, we'll have a lot of processes. I just mentioned that somebody is sick and he gets to the doctor, he keeps giving him a painkiller. All those painkillers that you give to your workplace, because your workplace has a process, has a problem, and is showing you symptoms. All you need to do is to get a quick fix. These are the things that we need to remove, all those quick fixes, and then get to the root cause and solve it. That's what you sort out. Things that doesn't really stretching, keep needed items in the correct place for easy access, shine, keep workplace tidy, standardized method of making the steps above. You know, this is an overview of what we are doing. So we'll get into details of all this in the subsequent training, which will be maybe for you when you must have signed up to our process improvement consultancy. So sort out necessary and unnecessary items, tag items for removal or storage, store often used items at the work area, and frequently used items away from the work area. This is an example of that. You can take a look at that. Stretching, arrange all unnecessary items, establish location, naming convention for electronic files, signage for work production and supply areas. You also have visual work environment so that people can easily identify what is where they are supposed to be. A place for everything and everything in its place. So you take a look at this. Shine to keep your area clean on a continuing basis. Physically clean, clean electronic folders on a regular basis, no updated version. Can a colleague find it? Some people, once they are not around in the office, for someone to stand in for them is always a problem, because their work area, their workstation is in a mess. You can't find anything, and that's a problem. So that's why we introduce 5X in our organization, so that people can double up for each other. Once you cross-train them, it will help to get things done. Can a colleague find it? No unused things. Standardize. When you must have done all the four, you standardize and maintain it. To maintain guidelines, sort, stretch, and sweep, develop schedule, checklist, audits, information, but periodically evaluate area using 5X spreadsheets. Work group agrees on naming conventions where to save. Prevents regression back. So continually improve neatness. That's what that is. After all the four, what will you do? You sustain all the gains that you've done. You now maintain a discipline. Your organization will have a disciplined organization, employees and people who are using work areas, so that you can easily, your workstations can move on well. So this before and after. What is the benefits? Organized workplace, reduces stress, reduces waste, more pleasant place to work, credibility, impress customers, safer work environment, foundation for other improvement projects. What is waste? We've talked about that before. It's non-value added things. What's addressing waste? Correction, rework. Now, there's something we call the 8 waste, the 8 deadly wastes. We use the acronym downtime, defects, overproduction, waiting, non-utilized talent, transportation, inventory, motion, and then extra processing. These are the things that really hinders a lot of work, that makes a place to an organization, a firm, not to run as it should. So that's what we have here represented. Correction, rework. We'll look at the overproduction, unnecessary movements. Let's go down and see what they are. Correction, rework, errors, mistakes, not doing it right the first time. Additional rework, resources. All these things cut away cost. So ask the question, do we have data entry errors, typos? Do we have billing? Or these are the defects. Overproduction, producing more of an item than is needed. Ask, are we producing more reports than needed? So a unit just came out from a meeting and you need to just print out something that is meant for 4 people or 3 people. Instead of doing that, you print for the whole company, 20, 30 reports. It's overproduction. You're actually wasting the company's resources. So that will be looked into. Unnecessary movement of items and motion. Unnecessary movement. That's where we have transportation. You move materials from one place to the other. We have this organization that had a very bad process for their trucks to move out of their plant. They had 5 signatories for their things to before a truck moves out of the organization, and each of the floors they have 5 signatories, and the guy that is working on it is on the ground floor. To move to sign out just one LPO, he has to move 5 processes, and that's why sometimes we also say under motion that nurses move up to 7 miles a day. Do they really work out on that? It's just because their work area is not well arranged, and we can reduce all that. Unneeded motion, just as I talked about now. Waiting, that's when an employee is waiting for you to, your own output is an input for another employee. We have different customers, the external, and then the internal customer. So some of the things that we do brings about people getting their things working well. While I'm waiting for you to finish up with your job, it takes time. Sometimes we'll need the expatriates to come and do some particular type of job that we're doing. At that time, that work is waiting for that to happen. Is a waste of waiting. If you cross-train your workers or get people to know about some of the things that you do, it will save a lot of time. Inventory. We talked about inventory, excessive inventory that ties up space and capital. We worked in an organization where they moved from the typical government establishment to privatization. When you get there, they still have a lot of the inventory in their store. Some of the boost knobs that they have in their place, those kind of machines are no longer in production. So, and they are still paying security people. They are still spring cleaning it. The thing is still cutting a lot of money from them. So that should be looked at. And sometimes we also have things that we have in our place that is obsolete. So we need to get them rid of that. But it's a professional that will be able to understand all this. Remember, this is an overview of the real process improvement consulting and all this. Overprocessing, complexity, doing more work than is necessary. A customer needs you to produce something in white or in black. After doing it, you now want to add one more beautiful thing to read that was not asked for. That's overprocessing, and it's cutting away a lot of color. It doesn't add, it doesn't really add, so you don't do that. Underutilization of resources. This is very, very key. You must try to engage your workers very well so that they will be happy and do your job. I made mention before that workers spend like 30% of the day. It's not always their fault. Not getting what is possible from people. If our process is done in such a way that we won't be able to take decisions or take responsibility, it becomes a problem for the employees. So employees, you need to integrate them into what you're doing. So these are the 8 deadly waste. So before you get into process improvement, there's something we call as it is process steps. And you can use a SIPO to get an overview of exactly what is needed. The SIPO stands for supply, input, process, output, customer. So you know what goes into your processes and then know what to improve upon. Let's say the supplier is a person or an organization that provides input into a process. So you need to know your suppliers very well and then know what to do about that. So process thinking at Toyota. Toyota said brilliant process management is our strategy. We'll get brilliant results from average people managing brilliant processes. So the focus here is on processes, not, we observe that our competitors often get average or worse results from brilliant people managing broken processes. So the other people use it they go the other way around. So you need to look at your processes, get it done very, very well so that anybody can work in your processes. And how do you do this? Once you identify all the root causes and implement and optimize it, you now do what we call mistake proving. We're going to see what mistake proving is, so that anybody can be able to even work on that. You've identified problems, you now improve on it. It's just like when you are typing on a Word document, you want to exit, something pops up. That thing that pops up is mistake proven, it's poka-yoka. Why did they do that? Because in the past, people must have lost one document or the other, and that helps you to make sure that workers don't make mistake, and you will always have a quality process all the time. What is process mapping? It's a graphical representation of how work is done that shows tasks in sequence and makes work visible. Clarify roles and responsibility, what activities are completed by whom and in what sequence. Why process mapping? So we do that in order for it to help us understand what goes in, all the X's that goes into your output. Why are there process issues? Process was not designed well initially. Customer needs change, but process did not change. Technology changed, process did. You know, these days we have a lot of interrupters. So many people are working every day to interrupt even the business that would do. Businesses that have stayed 100 donkey years. You can see in the transportation industry, I mentioned Uber. Uber have already interrupted what the transportation industry used to be. We also have now so many people are coming up with virtual offices. Hostels drop. Hotels and other places will now have people that easily get quotations that is ridiculous. If you stick to their traditional way of doing things without improving, it becomes a problem. You will just be there one day, the whole thing will collapse the way you didn't want it. So these are the why process issues arise. So process dependent on a few individuals, but not documented. It's just like what I said, you import somebody to always do a particular job for you. If they're not there, it becomes a problem. So you need to cross-check. Process owners rarely take or have the time to review a process. Process owners must always find out time to always look at their processes and always go through it again, because you must have improved one thing or the other and you still have a lot of steps before a product or a service comes out. Those working on a product don't have a mechanism to fix the process. What is Six Sigma and what is Lean? Now, Six Sigma focuses on defects and variation, process improvement, defects, errors, and variation reduction, targeting near perfect levels of quality and customer satisfaction. What is Lean? We've said it before, it focuses on what? Waste and defects, or waste. So now this two combination brings you a larger toolbox of techniques strategically applied to achieve business breakthroughs and customer woods. So it's a powerful tool that we use. Six Sigma has these phases: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. And for all the levels of certification that we do and other things, and you go in depth to a certain level. Why do we use Six Sigma? So many organizations need to operate even beyond Six Sigma level. If you look at what we have here, the pharmaceutical industry, nuclear, aviation, and so many others are very, very important. You must operate at Six Sigma level because it's dangerous not to operate on it. You must be at almost zero defect level per million opportunity. You can see what we have here for 3 Sigma level, 1.5 misspelled words per page in a book, and at 6 Sigma is 1 misspelled word in all the books in a small library. So it becomes you look at the DPM or the defect per million opportunity. If an aeroplane lands in a that is operating at 3 Sigma level, the number of crashes or whatever that might happen is 66,807. And if you're operating at 4 Sigma level, 6,210 might happen at 1 million opportunities. DPMO is defect per million opportunity. Then at 5 Sigma, you see 233, as against 6 Sigma that you have just 3.4 per million opportunity, which is almost to 3.4 defects per million opportunity. This is why we want almost every organization to get to the level of 6 Sigma and above. And that's the essence of this presentation. Root cause analysis, you try to find out, I made mention of the doctor and the prescription. You need to find out all the root causes that lead to a process problem. We also have this tool, the 5Y. The little children that is about 4, 5, 6 years, they are good at this. They can always ask you, why is it that you are coming late? You say, it's because there's a traffic problem. The child will go around and come back and ask you again, why is it that there was a traffic issue? You say, because so many people were going at the same time. You continue. This child will continue asking you why. Before you know it, you get to the root cause. Sometimes if it's something that you don't want the child to understand, to know, you say someone child, come on, will you go out from here or something like that, you know. These are the things, the same tool we use it to drill down to the root cause of process problems. This mistake proven. You can see here the diameter of the fuel fill doesn't allow needed fuel nozzles to be inserted. In the past, sometimes people make mistake they drive their car to where they have diesel and you are using a fuel engine. They just put it there, will damage your engine. But with the mistake proven, that's a poker yoke that has been implemented. Nozzle for diesel will enter the diesel car. Nozzle for fuel will enter the fuel car. So there won't be any problem. And that's the way we'll try to mistake prove your processes after process improvement at the end of the day. So in conclusion, it is in our opinion that every organization needs to encourage a philosophy of constant, logical, and sustainable process improvement to avoid waste and defects. Just as I said before, Henry Ford, he said, we will not put into our establishment anything that is useless. It's not good for you to put in anything that is useless. It's cutting away a lot of cost from you. And this is not the time that anybody would like to waste money doing things that doesn't really count, doesn't add to the bottom line of the organization. So we need to be wise. We need to always get professionals to look at do process mapping, look at the flow of processes so that we can optimize and optimize what you're doing and bring it to up to 6 Sigma level So these are our services. We'll do Lean Six Sigma consulting and training. We'll do the yellow belt, the green belt, the black belt, the master black belt training. That's for training. But most importantly, what we are actually talking about here is the consulting part of it. And the consulting part of it is everything is all inside so that you can bring your organization up to speed. We'll do all this, we'll carry out this. You can always call us on any of our handles so that we'll be able to look at your processes and then make sure that we'll save money for you. I would know that there's no way we'll come to your organization, will not be able to save up to 30, 40, 50, 60% of what you're already spending. We also have process management. We also we're the partner to Minitab in Nigeria. That's a statistical software that you use in process improvement. So thank you. Let me have your questions. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for the presentation. I really appreciate it. I think it's very hands-on. Would need more information. Hesitate to contact us. Thank you.